Data engineering is the fastest growing field. As the data is getting generated, companies need people who can manage and process all of these data on large scale. Data engineers are being paid more than software engineers. Everyone wants to get into this field, but it is so confusing. There are so many different tools available in the market. Just take a look at this big data landscape. There are so many different tools available in the market. It's always confusing to where to get started. Even if you get started, you will get lost in this entire learning process. This video is your ultimate guide to become a data engineer. I will give you clear and concise roadmap to become a data engineer. On top of this, I will also give you 8 different end-to-end data engineering projects. So this is not just a theoretical roadmap. You will gain the practical experience if you follow the steps that I will give you in this video. I have been working in this field for last 5 years. I started as a job, then I became a full-time freelancer. I work with a lot of startup companies and also work with the big companies like Wayfair. So I understand how data engineering practices are being performed on the smaller companies and also on the large companies. So I will give you the clear understanding of how these different tech stacks are being used in all of these different companies so that you will gain the better understanding on what to focus on and what not to focus on. Before we talk about different tools and the skill set to become a data engineer, I want to mainly talk about the having right mindset. It is not just about the data engineering, but even if you decide to learn anything, you need to have a positive mindset that you can become something. You can become a data engineer, data scientist, or whatever your goal is. So if you are watching this video, that means you want to become a data engineer. So the first thing that I suggest you is to have the positive mindset that you can become a data engineer. Do not let the negative thoughts such as you are not capable enough or you're not smart enough to become a data engineer. Have the positive mindset. And the second thing is you need to be fully focused while you execute this roadmap. We live in the world of distraction. You have social media, your phone, gaming, and all of the other things. So find your distraction and make sure for the next 6 to 8 months, you remove all of this distraction and just focus on executing this roadmap. Believe me, if you stay fully focused and remove all of this distraction, then no one can stop you to become a data engineer in next 6 months. So to help you in this process, I will give you a challenge at the end of this video where I will give you the quick guide on how you can stay consistent, learn in public, and also grow your network. So once you acquire all of this skill set, you will also have like different opportunities available to you. I highly suggest you to watch this video from start to end, get a pen and paper and start taking notes so that you understand and remember all of these things. And before we start, I will appreciate if you can hit the like button on this video. That helps this channel to grow and also keeps me motivated to make more of this video. And if you are new here, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Let's get started. So here's the situation. You might be in the different stages of your journey. You are completely new or you know few tools but want to know where to go next. So the first thing I always suggest people who are just getting started and do not have the technical background is to clear their computer science fundamentals. This is the core bread and butter of everything we do on the internet. So understanding and having the strong computer science fundamentals will help you in the long run. I'm not telling you to go to the college and get a degree. All I'm saying is that get understanding of basics of computer science fundamentals, such as understanding how the code is compiled, how code is executed, basics of data structures and algorithms, building blocks of programming language, loops, conditional statement, variables, and all of the other. And for this, we have one of the best resource available on YouTube for completely free, provided by Harvard University, called as CS50. If you go on the YouTube, you will find this playlist. This playlist has everything you need to clear your basic computer science fundamentals. All I recommend you is just watch first 5 videos. This will give you the enough understanding about the computer science fundamentals. If you spend just 2 to 3 hours daily learning about this, then you can finish these 5 videos within a week. Once you clear your basic computer science fundamentals, then you need to take one step forward and work on your foundation data engineering skill set. There are 2 skill sets that you need to focus on, and you might already know, which is understanding programming language, and second is SQL, structured query language. Now people used to say you can learn Java or Scala or Python, but these days companies mainly prefer Python data engineers. So you can just learn Python and get started with your data engineering career so that you don't get confused between multiple languages. The reason to learn programming language is basically you will be automating some of the workflows, you will be writing some transformation jobs, you will be deploying some of the data pipelines. So you need to have the basic understanding of how to do all of these things programmatically. And the same with the SQL, structured query language. Most of the data that gets stored is in the databases. Now, the SQL is the way we communicate with all of these databases. So if you want to insert, retrieve the data, delete some records, or update some records, you can easily do that using SQL language. SQL has become the universal data language. So No matter which database you use, you will be writing the SQL code there. So learning Python and SQL is non-negotiable. Now here's the good news. When I was learning about all of these different things, I had to refer multiple blogs, videos and courses to understand how these things are performed for the data engineering level. Now just to solve this problem, and if you have been following me, you will know that I have like dedicated niche based course for Python and SQL for data engineering. These courses are specially tailored for data engineers. So if you are a data engineer who wants to understand how Python is used from the data engineering point of view, or how SQL is used for data engineers, then I have created the dedicated courses for that only. These courses are taken by more than 5,000 people and they all love it. The way I break down the complex topics and make you understand all of these different things in simple manner using my real world example will make you fall in love with the process of learning data engineering. These courses are completely hands-on and there are some amazing projects like Spotify Data Pipeline and many other mini projects. So the only resource that I will suggest you for the core foundation of data engineering is my Python and SQL for data engineering courses. I will also add some free resources. So if you don't want to take this course, then you can also go from the free resources. Again, I have spent around 2 to 3 months preparing for all of these different courses. So I will encourage you to at least check it out, Python and SQL for data engineering. And I'm also running the special discount on all of these different courses, so you can find all of these information in the description. Doing this much will give you the strong foundation to start your journey as a data engineer. Now what you need to do, you need to focus on highly demanded tools and the skills in the market. There are hundreds of tools available in the market. We just want to focus on the highly demanded tools that can give us some opportunities to get a job. So now I'm going to suggest you different skill set that you need to acquire to build your core data engineering skill set. Now here's the different approach that I will suggest you. One part is just learning about the tools, but you also need to understand the core foundations of data engineering. Why do we perform data engineering? So the learning approach here is a little bit different. Just pay attention right now so that you understand the entire process clearly. Here's the thing, when you start watching videos, you will get bored after 1 hour or 2 hours. And after you get bored, you might jump onto doing something else, like you might watch some random YouTube videos or you go on Instagram and scroll reels. What we really need to do to avoid the boredom, we want to replace all of these different things with another learning material. So this is what I'm going to suggest, is that we will be doing two things at the same time. One, I will recommend you a book so that you can read that in the background. And also you can do a course to learn your core data engineering skill set. Let's say you decide that you will spend 2 hours daily to learn about data engineering. So what you can do is you can spend around 1 to 1.5 hours learning from the courses or the video materials, and after that you can also spend 1 hour reading a book. So what it will do, you will learn the highly demanded tool in the market by watching courses, but at the same time you will also gain the theoretical knowledge from the core foundations of data engineering. So the book that I recommend you to read is The Fundamentals of Data Engineering. I have the hard copy. You can buy the hard copy or you can also get the ebook from the internet. This is one of the best books available on data engineering foundation, and I highly recommend you to read this while you are on this journey of becoming a data engineer, because most of the people learn tools, they learn the technologies, but their fundamentals are very weak. So fundamentals don't change for 10 to 15 years. That's why this book will give you the strong foundations about data engineering. You know, it might be a little bit confusing, but the way it works is that you read this book in the background whenever you get bored or whenever you have the time, because you can't watch the videos all the time. But you can read a book, you can read a paragraph, you can read one page, you can read one entire chapter whenever you get time. So this way you will stay focused and you will enjoy the process of learning. Now while you are reading this book, I will also recommend you to do a course to learn about the highly demanded tool in the market. So the next core data engineering skill set that I recommend you is to learn about the data warehouse. Everything you do as a data engineer will eventually get stored inside the data warehouse. This is where businesses generally start extracting value from the data. So if you want to find out, let's say, what was the last 5 years of revenue, or how many products did we sell this year compared to last year, you can find answers to all of these questions in the data warehouse, because they are built for analytical queries. So again, learning data warehouse has two parts. One is learning about the foundation, and second is learning about the highly demanded tool in the market. The foundation of data warehouse includes understanding about OLAP and OLTP system, understanding dimension tables, extract, transform, load, ER modeling or dimensional modeling, such as understanding fact and dimension tables. There is one more book available on data warehouse called as the Data Warehouse Toolkit by Kimball, but you don't really have to read this book, and I will tell you why in a while. After clearing your data warehouse fundamentals, then you can learn about one tool where you can practice all of this foundation knowledge. There are many data warehouses tools available such as Snowflake, BigQuery, Amazon Redshift. As per my recommendation, you should definitely learn Snowflake because companies are moving from traditional data warehouses to the Snowflake. Snowflake is the modern data engineering database, so I will highly recommend you to add the Snowflake in your skill set. Now, where to learn all of this? Again, I have created the detailed course, one of the most in-depth course you will find in the market, specially designed for data engineers. The book that I told you about, the Data Warehouse Toolkit, I have already referred that book to create this course, so you don't have to read this book by yourself. You can just complete this course. You will get understanding about the data warehouse core fundamentals, understand how to build a modern data warehouse using the Snowflake database. Again, it took me 2 to 3 months to prepare this course. I've referred multiple blogs, courses, books to create and bring everything at one place. So I will highly encourage you to at least check these courses out. I have put all of my hard work behind all of these courses. So imagine this situation in your brain, right? You're reading a book in the background, the fundamentals of data engineering. So whenever you get bored or whenever you find time, you can read a page, you can read a paragraph, and also you are dedicatedly focusing on learning the core data engineering tool set from different courses. This will start feeling like a magic as you go forward in this process. Once you finish learning about the data warehouse, then the next thing you need to focus on is the data processing. Now, the core of data engineering is the data processing only, because we get data from multiple places: RDBMS, web analytics, sensors. All of these data are coming from multiple places in multiple formats. What you really need to do, you need to write some logic to bring all of these data at one place in the structural format. All of these data are coming at different formats, coming at different frequencies, so you need a proper tool to process them. Data generally gets processed in two different ways. One is the batch processing, where you take the chunk of data and process daily or weekly as per the requirement. And the second is the real-time data streaming, as you see it on the Google Maps or the Amazon, right? You get the notification in real-time manner. So as soon as the data comes, you need to process it and pass it forward. One tool for batch or even real-time data processing is Apache Spark. One of the highly demanded tools available in the market. It is used by big organizations like Google, Microsoft, and many more. So you can learn the same way. First, you learn the foundations of Apache Spark, such as understand the core architecture, the higher level APIs, and what are the different functions available in Apache Spark. And then you can learn the tool that powers Apache Spark environment. There are many different tools available in the market, such as Databricks, AWS Glue, Dataproc, and many more. My recommendation is to learn Apache Spark with the Databricks, and the language you will be using is PySpark, the combination of Python and the Spark. I'm working on my Apache Spark course, so it is not launched yet at the time of creating this video, but you can definitely follow me if you want to get more updates on this. I will add some good courses and the resources where you can learn the Apache Spark and Databricks in the final documentation that you will get at the end of this video. Now, for batch processing, you can learn Apache Spark, but for the real-time data streaming, you can learn one highly demanded tool in the market called as Apache Kafka. Apache Kafka is a distributed event store and stream processing platform, so you can process your data in real time. Now understand this, when you process all of this data, you execute all of these different tasks in different sequence, such as extract data from multiple sources, then do some aggregation, do some transformation, and maybe load this data to some target location. All of these operations or tasks need to happen in sequence manner. You cannot have the third task executed first or the first task executed last. It will not work. And for that, we also need a orchestration tool or workflow management tool. So this is the next skill set that we will be focusing on, is learning about the workflow management tool. And one of the most important tool and highly demanded tool available in the market is called as Apache Airflow. It was developed by Airbnb and then it was open source so that everyone can use it. And every company uses Apache Airflow to build the data pipeline. So again, at this point, you are reading the fundamentals of data engineering and also learning all of these different tools. At one point, everything will start making sense. So this is kind of like the individual dots And as you move forward, all of these dots will start connecting and you will start understanding why these tools exist on the first place, what are the different problems these tools are trying to solve. As a data engineer, we process big data, the huge volume of data, and you cannot store and process all of these data in your local computer. And for that, we have the cloud platforms. We have three cloud providers: AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. So if you are learning the Python, SQL, or data warehouse from my courses, then you will already know that we are using AWS to understand all of these concepts. So the confusion for choosing the right cloud platform will disappear. So just by doing the foundation courses, you will already get introduced to the cloud computing platform then and there. But if you are going from the self-learning path, then I will highly recommend you to either start with the AWS or Microsoft Azure. Now this is the case if you don't have any cloud experience. But if you already know one cloud, then do not jump from one cloud to something else. You already know one cloud computing platform, GCP, Azure, or AWS, then forget about all of those different cloud providers. Just focus on one and start learning the data engineering side of it. And if you don't know any cloud computing platform, then I will highly recommend you to start with the AWS. I just want to give you the clear answer because a lot of people get confused between AWS, GCP, and Azure. So I'm giving you the clear answer that AWS have good market segments, so you can always rely on AWS. But if you have any other things in mind, then you can go with the Microsoft Azure too, because it is growing at the rapid pace. So learning either AWS or Azure will keep you in the safe place. Now again, I do have plans to launch courses in the future on all of these different topics. So you can follow me if you want to get updated. Now at this point, you can call yourself as a data engineer because you learned all of these different things. If you reach at this part of this video, then you can write it in the comments. I'm going to become a data engineer. Just send some positive vibes in the comment section so that everyone can feel motivated. Now these were the core data engineering skill set. Now I want to talk about some of the advanced level or the things that have come up in the last few years. So you also need to pay attention to all of those. One of the trending topic in the market is the open table format. So while reading the fundamentals of data engineering, you will learn about the data lake. Data lake is basically the centralized repository where you can store all of these data, and as per the requirement you can query this data and select the chunk of it. The problem with the data lake is that it does not support a lot of different functionalities, so it doesn't have the asset transaction. Now to solve all of these problems, we have the new concept called as the open table format that comes with a lot of different features on top of data lake. So there are many different tools available such as Iceberg and Woody. This is something that has been trending in last 1 year. So I will highly encourage you to keep your eye on it and add this skill set in your portfolio. Then we also have the data observability tool. You might have hundreds of data pipeline running in your company. Now, how do you monitor it? How do you keep track of the errors and how do you debug it? These kind of tools such as Datadog can help you in that. So these are the modern data engineering tools that help you with this. Like this, you can also learn about the modern data stack. Here's the list of them. All I recommend you to is just explore these tools. Do not get attached to them because these tools come and go in the market. But as you read the fundamentals of data engineering, your core concepts are clear, so you will understand why each and every tool from the modern data stack exists and where they actually fit. And as you go forward in your career, you also need to know about the DevOps and the data ops side, which is basically deploying and automating the entire workflow. And for that, you can also learn about the Docker and the Kubernetes. At this stage, you need to think like a principal engineer. You don't have to be a data engineer because you are growing in your career and you need to be in the position where you can take decisions so that companies can solve their problem using technology. And you can also start reading blogs from different top companies like Netflix, Zerodha, AWS, GCP. So you will get understanding of how data engineering is performed in the real world. So this was everything that you need to really focus on to become a data engineer. Now the thing that I told you at the start of this video, that I will give you the complete guide on how to stay consistent and learn in public. So if you are really serious and if you have been watching this video from start to end till here, that means you are serious to learn and become a data engineer, because most of the people already gave up in between. But I assume if you stick to this video till end, that means you are serious to learn about data engineering. So you can comment below, I watched this video till the end, so that I will know that you are really serious about learning data engineering. Now if you want to stay consistent and focused, what you need to be is accountable to someone else. Now, the best way you can be accountable is on social media. So you can go to the platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, or Twitter. What you have to do is you have to announce it to everyone that from today or tomorrow, I'm going to start my data engineering journey by following this roadmap. So you can also link this video or the document that I will be giving you. So you can tell people that I will be focusing and executing this complete roadmap for the next 6 months, and I will be sharing my daily learnings here. All you have to do is every day, whenever you learn something from my, let's say, Python course or SQL course or from a book that you are reading, all you have to do is just summarize that entire thing in your own language. Do not copy paste. You don't have to be a content creator. All you have to do is just share your learning with the people. If you do this, you will gain the confidence, you will be focused, and if any recruiter sees you that you have the knowledge and you are trying to learn and get into this field, they might contact you in the future once you have all of these skill sets. So a lot of people do this. They learn something, share it with the world. All I ask you to do is create a post, announce it in the public, and tag me so that I will repost it, so that you will feel accountable to complete this entire journey. This way you stay consistent, build your portfolio, and open doors for the new opportunity. Now this is the complete document that I was talking about. Everything that we talked about in this video I have added here. With that, I've also added some extra resources such as projects from my YouTube channel and some free resources that you can learn from. So you can go through this entire roadmap and start your journey for data engineering. So I upload quality content on data engineering on this channel. So if you are new here, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you found this video helpful, then please hit the like button. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.